USDA loan for home buyers.
We're going to talk about the income, the credit requirements, and why this is a great program for first-time home buyers, especially in our area. And I didn't even know what the USDA loan program was before I moved here. And when we first had the option of a USDA loan, when we bought our home, we said, no, I don't want that because I don't know what it is. And honestly, that was a big mistake. For a bunch of reasons that we're going to talk about below. But this is designed for low to moderate income families and to ensure that they can buy affordable homes. Now, incomes vary by region, but what do we know at the filming of this video?
At filming of this video, according to our area in Pitt County, because you remember not all the area in all around the country are eligible, but in our area is $111,000 for 4 people in the household.
And that was at the filming of this video. From what we know, it does change all the time. Now, before we get into more details like credit requirements and all of the more details about down payment like zero, let's do our introduction. So let's hit it. Hi, it's Alan Victoria. Welcome to our Tin Lin podcast.
And if this is your first time in our podcast and YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and get notified.
And so you call text all the time at 252-327-3357. We love talking to you. Do not be shy. Also, don't forget to get our buyer's guide and seller's guide in the description below.
Therefore, my wife actually started from eligibility factors and criteria. And the first one was the income that we said. And of course, any part of the country that you live in, you need to go to your county and see based off that and how many are in the household to be sure that how much is the income, because it's for the low and moderate income family.
Right. Now, with credit requirements, you do have a stricter credit requirement. So your credit history has to show it's a pretty much 640. You have to have great credit or good credit in order to get this. You have to show that you can repay the loan and that you are someone who pays back their debt.
But 640 is not a great credit.
It's still great. It's still a good credit.
But also you need to make sure, for example, we know that before Wells Fargo, for example, they wanted 660. But generally it's 640. You need to talk to that institution or your bank to make sure what they want exactly.
Now, first-time home buyers can see this as a financial burden, but the USDA loan program comes with some amazing perks, like number one, what everybody loves, the no down payment.
Mm-hmm. That means that you 100% you can finance the home that you wanted to buy.
Right. So if you're looking to get into a home, we're talking about coming up with closing costs. So you do not have to come up with a 3.5% of $10,000, $8,000, depending on the home that you're looking at. You don't have, that can be all factored into the loan. So you are saving money. You're looking at coming in with closing costs. So that's amazing.
Exactly. Therefore, instead of paying 3 to 5% for conventional or 3.5% with FHA, you basically don't need down payment. But of course, there's a closing cost always associated with your loan.
Now, there are also loan limits with the USDA. So it's not just that there's no down payments. It means that you can't get $1 million house if you make a certain amount of money. So it depends on your income. It depends on the location. It depends on your family size. And they want to buy you a modest, normal home. They don't want to buy you a luxury home. So you're making sure that the home has to be moderate or middle class in size, design, cost. It doesn't mean you can't have a pool. I mean, that's a lie out there that people say. You can, but it has to be just not exorbitant.
Exactly. But also by the default, this loan really designed for the rural and suburban areas.
That's why talk about vacation now.
Yeah. But that's why the Department of the Agriculture, U.S. Department of Agriculture, actually fund this kind of loans.
Now, you cannot buy in the city of Greenville proper itself with the USDA loans, but as we go out into the outskirts, it becomes more eligible. So not all of Winterville either, but definitely parts of Winterville, Ayden, Farmville. Once we go away from the center, and even parts of Greenville,
which also depends on the population of that area that they live in, because you're talking about the rural area.
Now, the house has to be, besides, that it meets a location qualified, and we're going to go to the website and look and see if this house address qualifies. The second thing is the house has to be safe. It has to be sanitary. It has to be adequate for you to actually live in. So they don't want to use a USDA loan for a broken house. You can't.
Exactly.
You can't say I'm going to fix it all with the USDA.
And we
loan.
know that, for example, FHA loan has a more strict regulation, and USDA also wanted to make sure that you walk into the safe and sanitary place.
Now, the interest rate with USDA loans isn't even on a lot of those websites where I check the mortgages news daily every day. Because honestly, after the VA, the USDA offers typically the second lowest interest market rate. Now, you have to qualify. You have to be a veteran in order to get a VA loan. You do not have to be a veteran to get a USDA loan, but it is going to be the second lowest. So it's the one that you can afford. Second.
Therefore, when you go to any kind of mortgage, basically website like a bankrate.com or anything,
yeah, they don't even mention it.
They don't even list it there. They listed either the conventional 30 years and 15 years or VA or FHA.
Right, so there's a lot of misinformation about this. Also, it's also a fixed rate loan, which means it's going to be constant through the life of the loan. So if you're worried about those terms, you can also choose to make it shorter if you want to. You can choose. There is no prepayment penalty. You get the freedom to pay off your loan early. You can refinance a USDA loan. It's all allowed.
Exactly. What is the next thing that we wanted to talk about?
And now, since this is a government-backed loan, it is a government-guaranteed loan. So that means that lenders, so there's a lot of work, and I know that the lenders use something called a GUS system. Not that I know what GUS is, other than it's a guy's name. Because it's a government program, though, the lenders are not risking themselves with saying, we can do this. They're risking the U.S. government-backed loan. So it's typically a little lenient, except for that credit.
Exactly. It's like a FHA also comes from the government.
What about PMI or mortgage insurance?
The PMI and mortgage insurance, what is going to be respect to the other
you
loans?
have
It's
to
going to be
required.
Required. Definitely.
Right. If you're under 20%, it's required. However, this protects banks, not you. So borrowers are required to pay upfront the annual fee, which is basically a mortgage insurance.
Therefore, definitely you need a mortgage insurance unless you get to that 20% of the home value. That's what you need. And you definitely always verify specific details and requirement from the USDA officials website or to contact your loan officer. No?
Right. If you do not have a USDA loan officer, we can definitely tell you the ones that we have used, that we have seen consistently perform all the time, because not all lenders will want to do the USDA program. Apparently that system is complicated for them, but Exactly. It is definitely a great program out there. Just because the first lender you talk to out there can't do it doesn't mean someone else can.
Yes,
we can definitely get you in touch with people who can.
Yes.
We love talking about the USDA loan because it's a great program for so many people.
Yes, and if definitely you wanted to talk to the lender, ask them that how many times they basically help with the home buyers with the USDA loan.
Yeah,
that they have enough experience or no, because it's a little bit more complicated than the conventional loan. And thank you for being a good audience. Don't forget to basically subscribe and write us a comment about your experience. And if you're home buyers or home seller, definitely we love to connect with you. And also subscribe in our channel to support us.